All right, so let's use the Bootstrap CSS library to add some navigational buttons on the top uh, l- uh, on the top headers, that these fixed headers here on the top. So so this is what's gonna look like eventually. But let's start off with something that we've been working so far. And so this is what we have currently, and we're going to start off with this implementation. And so we're going to add these buttons that we have here on the top. Right, we're going to add them to this page that we already built in a previous video. So this videos uh, this this page that we have so far has been implemented in this directory form. So let's copy that and let's start from there. So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste it, and I'm going to call it header links. Okay. So let's go there. So it's header links. There we go. That's where we're going to get started from. So let's go ahead and start adding these hyperlinks at the top of the header. So to do that, let's identify the header. I think it's this one right here. This is the nav bar header that implements this left-hand side. Sorry, no, this is I'm sorry, this is the one that implements the left-hand side, and this right header is implemented right here. Right? Notice that there's a 4:8 ratio split that splits the top header at the top. Okay, so let's start off by adding these navigational left arrows on the left hand side. So to do that, we're going to go to Bootstrap and to components. In there, we're going to look for the glyphicon for that left hand side. So there it is. So let me copy that. And so right here, right before this div that implements this left header over here, right? Right before that, let's create a brand new div, and in there we're going to create a hyperlink because these are clickable links, right? That would allow us to navigate between pages. Right now, we're not going to refer to any particular page. We're not going to actually navigate anywhere just yet. And span, we're going to use that class to display that left uh, button. So let's refresh that. There it is. It's almost what we want. What we need to do also is to make sure that this pulls all the way to the left. So we'll say class, we're going to pull to the left hand side. Okay, there it is. All right, so it's almost what we want. Another thing that we need to do is to notice that these headers have a padding or margin above and below, right? They kind of center the content in the middle of the header, right? But notice that it's not happening here with this hyperlink. So to fix that, there's a class that we can use that styles this, or that tells it, hey, your content there needs to be centered in the header, and I believe it's called navbar text. Yeah, there it is, navbar text. So if we refresh that, notice that now we have a nice center that content with that header. What is a little bit missing here is that this arrow here is kind of like not flush with the left hand side of this, so that kind of looks like it's not kind of finished. So if we look at and try to inspect that, and we look at that div here, notice that it has kind of like a border all around it. That's because there's a margin all around, right? That div. It looks like it's there all the way, right, for every size, right? So the way we could fix that is by changing that margin, removing that margin, at least from the left-hand side, so it becomes flush with the bottom list, right? So we can say that we're going to remove the margin at the bottom, and we want it to be 0 pixels. And ooh, not bottom, sorry. Margin left. Yeah, so there we go. Right, so there we go. So that works. So let's do that. So for now, we'll style it right here. Style, and we'll say that we want the margin left. We want it to be 0 pixels. Okay. So let's see if that works. Let's refresh the page, and there we go. So we have that styling. All right. Let's keep going. Let's see what else do we need. We want this this plus sign on the right-hand side of the left header. So let's do that. Let's look for the plus sign here. Where is the plus sign? Is it at the top? There we go. It's plus. And so let's copy this. Let's copy this and put it down below, down right after the left header. And let's change this chevron, glyphicon chevron left. We're going to change it to plus, right? Glyphicon plus, so we'll say plus. There we go. And we don't want it to pull left, instead we want it to pull right. And so we want it so that it's displays all the way to the right hand side. And probably the margin, we don't want to, we don't know if we need to touch the margin. So let's remove any stylings, see what we have so far. Okay, there's a plus. Okay, and let's see if yeah, it looks like it's okay. Notice that it's not flush with the right hand side, but maybe that's what we want. Maybe that's exactly what we wanted, because remember that later on we might be adding this this kind of cog underneath, and maybe we want that to be lined up. So let's leave it there for now. Let's do the same thing for the right header, similar, right, with these hyperlinks. So let's grab some of that. We already have one right here from the left hand side, from the left header, right? I'm going to grab it. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to do the same thing for the right header. So let's paste that. So let's refresh, see if that works. Okay, there we go. And on the right hand side, we want the checkbox, right? So let's grab the checkbox. Let's see. Let's take exactly the same content and let's paste it right after the right header content. There we go. And what we want here, the checkbox, which is, I believe it's okay. There we go. It's the glyphicon. Okay. Style. Let's remove the style for now. I don't know if we need it for now. So let's leave that and see what we have so far. Let's refresh. Okay, notice that the checkbox is not pulling to the right-hand side. Let's to do that, we're going to, instead of this pull left, we're going to do a pull right. Let's see if we refresh. Let's see what happens. Okay, that looks pretty much what we want. Always make sure to see that it works at all different sizes of the screen. Right, and notice that if it becomes too small, it kind of wraps around and it kind of breaks the size, the vertical sizing of this header, and that's not right. So that's not what we want. So the way we could fix that, right, is to kind of rearrange the order in which we render these, the document order of these divs. What we could do is just say that we're going to render this first, right, and then have the other one kind of render after it. So let's try it again. So notice that it's in the same place, right? But when it becomes small, notice that it works nicely, right? It does not wrap around, right? So you got to be careful, and whenever you're doing some some floating to the left or floating to the right, to make sure that if you change the order, it kind of determines what wraps around what. Okay. Okay, so that's what we want. Notice that we have the same problem from earlier, right? That at some screen sizes, we lose or we add additional margin. And so, for instance, for bigger screens, notice that we cannot have like this. Must be for like 15 pixels, perhaps, all around this nav bar. There we go. See that there's a fifth. It looks like there's a 15 pixel margin all around that we might want to remove. Where is it? It's right here. It's this one. There it is. So we want to remove maybe this right margin. We want to remove that. So let's see how it behaves all around. Okay, there we go. That's what we want. We want to add this margin right 0 on this OK. All right, so we're going to say margin right 0. All right, so if we refresh, let's see what we got. Okay, looks like it works. Right, that right hand checkbox is always flush with the right hand of these input fields, right, for every page size. Okay. Yeah, so we were able to add links to the header that will allow us to interact with by adding or navigating to other pages.